Mercury Recording Studios. That's where it's at. That's where it's at. See the setup. This is professional. Amazing. We here, man. This is where the No Ops podcast host from. They have the beautiful setup. You know, obviously make sure that their guests are comfortable. This is dope. The whole thing for the band. This is dope. We're about to walk in, pop up on one of the hosts, Mrs. Nyeesha Williams. She is somewhere doing something. Always working. Peace.
Always working.
Peace. No ops.
Right.
Real quick, so talk about it, man. Being a young black woman from Jersey, leaving and coming back to do this No Ops podcast with a cop. Which, you know, if people know your background, that's a little like what she doing with a cop.
Yeah.
So talk about me. Why was this important to you to come back to Jersey to do this? Because clearly you could have did it in Cali.
I could have, but that's not something that I wanted to do because it doesn't matter where I travel, because I travel around the world. My connection, my core is always Jersey. So I knew that it was important for me to find myself first. I'm sorry, you guys. I knew it was important for me to find myself first so I can give my best self to my community, if that makes any sense. And that's what I did. So I left Jersey about 5 years ago. I moved to LA, moved to Cali, made some moves, opened up a school, and expanded my career in therapy and life coaching. And Elijah and I used to always talk about what's going on in the hood or what's going on in the community. And the fact that he's been a lieutenant over 20-something years in my hood where I grew up, you know, he tells me stories that I don't hear or I don't know, you know. And he started to go through his own transition where he wanted to know how his sanity was, what was his mental health, you know, how could he continue to protect and serve if he doesn't feel like he's his best self. So he actually reached out to me for counseling for himself and, you know, trying to find himself and get some answers. And as we continue to, you know, bounce back and forth, I brought it up like, yo, it's really important that we create some sort of dialogue where the community can hear these personal stories of people in law enforcement, because like how I was raised, like you said, I don't see y'all as human.
You're not human, yep.
I don't. You know what I'm saying? You're a cop, so you're automatically against us. And how dare you be a black cop who came from my hood and then now you're with them. You know, that's how some of us view them. And, you know, to hear his story and then like hear some other people's stories who were, again, from my hood and in law enforcement, I'm like, damn, I think like that. You know, like that, my grandmother says that, my aunt says that.
I have those feelings, I can identify.
Right. So we're really not different. So, you know, we decided to come up with a No Ops podcast where no ops is no oppositions. So we speak about every opposition in the community to ultimately find a resolution, because once we find a resolution, we can then heal our community. So I come from the standpoint of healing and he comes from the standpoint of protecting, so we can all, you know, give a wholesome 360 approach to changing our community. So that's it.
Dope. How has this been for you personally, and those who've known you for a long time? How has this been received? That Nyeesha is doing a podcast with a cop.
So,
do you have to explain yourself a lot to friends or family who ask questions?
So my immediate family, like my support system, thinks it's amazing, thinks it's wonderful. Like I said in our first episode, excuse me, it's really important for me because we need to know the law.
Absolutely.
We need to understand the law. And when we go into these communities blindsided or not even understand or having some sort of ignorance, that's where the tension comes about. So for me, it was really important because I need to learn. I need to understand. If I'm taking this title or this step to be the voice of the community, how can I be the voice if I'm ignorant? Mm-hmm. You know, I want to bring back to the community. I want to bring back to the people and let us know, like, hey, you have a responsibility. You got to hold yourself accountable in addition to holding your community accountable. So, but as far as like being received, there's a lot of people who have not said anything to me yet. But I knew that was going to happen. You know, like I kind of figured that was going to happen because, like you said, I'm from the hood. My family is affiliated with certain things. I ran in certain crowds. So it's like, yo, is she going against me? You know, is she going against us? But that's why we're creating this platform. I want to bring the element of truth, you know, just to show that we are all human. And if you can just take the time to listen to someone's story, you'll get the chance to connect. You understand?
No, absolutely. And it's funny. I wrote something a while ago. I said, you know, storytelling is the greatest connector, right? Because our religions may differ, our politics may differ, our sexual orientations, financial status, so much may differ. But if we can hear each other's story, then that's how we connect, and that's how we realize that, you know what? Because everyone has a story. The fact is, one of the issues is that not too many people share their story, and then those who do share their story may not have a platform for more people to listen to their story, so they still get demonized and seen as less human because you don't know their story.
And that's good that you brought up that point of not hearing their story, because that was something that Elijah and I spoke about. Like, he would say certain things, and I'll just, you know, my rebuttal would be, but did y'all speak on it? But did y'all go out to the community and let them know, like, this is the process? Did y'all apologize? You know, did y'all apologize on behalf of your mans who did something who shouldn't have been doing it? You know what I'm saying? So I had to explain, like, we as a community feel like you have to do more.
Absolutely.
You have to speak more.
Gotta speak more. And
this is the platform where law enforcement from all different walks of life, all different communities are coming together to speak.
Dope. Lastly, do you yourself personally, since you've been on this journey building this podcast, do you have any rebuttal? Are there any moments where you're like, damn, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe I shouldn't talk about this because it is involved with law enforcement? Do you have any, I guess, gripes within yourself about this?
Initially, yes. I felt like I would be a target. I felt like, you know, like you said, there may be people who think like I'm going against the grain. Who is this black woman who's talking about these issues in law enforcement, who's like, it's bigger than me? That's how I looked at it initially, that it was bigger than me and they can come and attack me. But then once I realized who I was and what my power was, it's like, all right, just go for it. Like, let's go. Like, this is what I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? This is my job. This is my duty. And I love it. Like, I love it.
No ops.
No ops.
Peace.
Peace. Thank you, Jerry.